Guys, it's GrowerMD making a video here for you guys, and in this video we are going to update a little bit of what's going on recently, and I want to answer a few questions that I have kind of not answered before for specific reasons, and I just want to talk about them a little bit right now. So you know, first of all, you guys may notice that there may have not been a grow video in a while. I do still have some video series left to upload for you guys, but unfortunately Varndizel Farms is no more. I basically don't have my warehouse anymore, and I kind of want to go over that along with some of the reasons why and some learning lessons for next time. And I'm not going to go into too much specifics about my situation, considering part of it is still unraveling as we speak, but you know, I do want to talk about a little bit of what I learned through this process and share some of this information with you guys, because I do think that it's extremely important for those of you guys that are growing, those of you guys that want to grow in a warehouse, any type of commercial building, anything like that. There's some things that you guys ought to know. Now, first and foremost, why do I not have my warehouse anymore? Well, basically my landlord had always had a plan to basically sandbag me regardless of what was going on, because he wanted to sell my unit with 2 other units. Now, for those of you guys that are not aware, in my particular version of a lease for commercial buildings, but I've heard this is pretty standard for all commercial leases, is that if you have to submit in writing if you wish to renew. Now, in my case, it said I had to submit no earlier than 6 and no later than 4 months before my lease was over that I was intending to renew or to change my status. Now, you know, I had made verbal agreements with my landlord several times throughout the course of my year lease, talking about how I was planning on renewing, how I was potentially looking at buying, and you know, that I thought would be enough confirmation for him to move forward. But apparently my type of business is not what he is intending, and without going again into too much detail, I did use my real line of work, which is government related, and then just to say less, and it entitles me to certain security provisions, and I used those provisions to keep everyone out of my warehouse. So for that entire year, nobody was allowed on the premise, and just that alone was reason enough for my landlord to be uncomfortable with the situation. He signed it all into my lease, but decided to not want to stick true to what he said and never tell me that he got uncomfortable. So 13 days before my lease was up, I got an email saying that my lease was not going to be renewed. And again, it was my fault 100% on the aspect that I did not submit in writing. I automatically assumed that it would go month to month, or that he would inform me when it was going to be time to renew. That wasn't the case. So basically, due to fine print, you know, I got sandbagged out of my property. Now, a couple other things that came out during that process. When I was moving out, you know, the add-ons that I had done, improvements as they're called, in terms of building rooms, had been in violation of my lease. If you are in a commercial property, especially if you are in a property, you know, obviously it depends on your specific situation, but if your property is standalone, then it's not really much of an issue, but nonetheless building permits still need to be pulled. But especially if you're in a multi-condo, is what they call them when you have units, neighbors on your side of you, those type of buildings definitely have to have building permits pulled. And also any space that is over 150 square feet that has a roof on it has to have a fire sprinkler brought in. And so there were several learning lessons, things that I thought I had done, all the research, you know, all my building, all my electrical was all to code. But for it, if you are not the owner of the building and you've got someone else that you report to, whether it's a bank, whether it's just a landlord, whatever the case is, you got to have building permits, and in some cases it has to be approved by the city, depending on the type of building again. So if you are planning on making that move, let it be known that you will have to eventually submit to a fire inspection, whether you've got plants in there to worry about or not. They will still fine you, or not fine you, but basically they'll start to give you warnings, and if you don't comply within the time, then what they do is then they start fining you, or you get evicted out of your spot. So it is important that you basically want to plan what you do ahead of time 100%. So you want to get your buildings all laid out before you move in there, get all of your construction done, pull the permits beforehand, get all that stuff approved by your landlord, and then you basically shouldn't have to worry about anything until the fire inspection comes. And at that time of the year, you need to make note of it, and you need to be able to make your property available for the fire inspection once a year. You know, and you can basically plan your schedules out to accommodate this, so you have time to stop and clean up and do whatever you got to do before that time. But you can only put it off for so long. You know, you might be able to get away with it for a year, like in my case, but in 2 years in some really special cases. But honestly, they in a lot of buildings they come around quarterly, which means every 3 months. So if you get it put off for, you know, over a year, consider yourself lucky, and consider that that might be something that's coming. So these are all things that I want you guys to know, so that you can plan this stuff out ahead of time. Now, my plan moving forward, you can see obviously I'm at home now. It's been really nice having a little bit of a break. I really can't even explain to you how long it's been since I've just come home after work and not had something to do immediately right away. So I am going to probably take advantage of this situation here and relax a little bit. I'm definitely needing it to clear my mind, needing it to clear the stress off my shoulders. And I might even take a little vacation, not sure yet, but you know, definitely going to take advantage of that. In the meantime, I definitely still have video series that were already going, and some finished, some didn't. And I'll definitely work on uploading those here for you in the future. I've been able to spend some time doing some other things recently because of this. I was able to rebuild my computer, so I'm really stoked about that. I'll be hopefully trying to get into a little bit better video editing. And I've also been able to buy a new street bike. I had to sell my last one when things got pretty heavy, especially when I first started growing. Did not have the money to really make the payment and my credit card payments for all the growing stuff I was buying. So, you know, I was able to pick one of those back up again. And yeah, I've really been enjoying a little bit of this extra time. So once I get finished with, or once I run out of video series that are growing related for you guys, I'm going to try to work on a lot more informational videos, QA videos. I'm going to be putting a couple plants out here in my backyard for this summer. You can see that we've had our backyard redone. I built in this planter box here for Canna Chef, and she planted a whole bunch of shit up here. She's got like tomato plants and sunflowers and chilies and carrots and all kinds of different little things up in here in this planter bed. So she's got her little garden going on back here. You can see we've got quite a bit of stuff lining all the way through. I've got 3 plants that I'm gonna either put all 3 or 2 of them out here for this summer. I think I'm just gonna line them up right here on the patio, and we'll probably document that outdoor grow, since my backyard is actually being rebuilt. Last time we had some plants out here and they got pretty destroyed by a faulty sprinkler system, and we actually just had another sprinkler fault. Oh, maybe they replaced it today. You can see some of the parts still here. But anyway, so hopefully that shouldn't be an issue this time. We'll be able to see some plants flower fully out here, and they should have a pretty good amount of time to get pretty goddamn big before they start flowering, so it should be pretty interesting to watch. So again, I'll document that stuff, and I'll start working on more Q&A videos, start talking about things that I think I can explain just verbally, that aren't necessarily things I need to show you directly. But I don't want the channel to die. I want to continue things on for a little while. I'm trying to help out in some other areas that I think can still be touched upon more, things that aren't necessarily talked about very often, like some of the details that I went over in this video today. regarding inspections and fire safety and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically it for now. I'm sure you guys have plenty of questions, so please let me know. I'll get down to them as best as I can. But until next time, guys, I'll try to get a new video, the next series of the Blue Dream, the first part of the flower. I'll try to get that up here this week, by this weekend also. And we should take it from there. So until next time, guys.